Hello. I'm gonna give you guys some time to get on. Hola, mis amores. Hello, my loves. Hi. So, I'm testing. I found this ring light that I have that I thought I had all the pieces for, and it turns out that I don't have all the pieces for it. So, I've made a contraption to have this lighting. So I hope you value this. I just wanted to put that out there. Hi everyone. I'm gonna wait a little bit just to see if anybody else tunes in. I have a few things that I want to talk about. I was actually gonna have music playing when I started this, but because I had to build this contraption, it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. So insert music. Can I? No, that's me muting myself. I don't know if I can add music in here, but I wanted to have, you know what? Let me see if I can still figure it out. Because I think we all deserve it. We deserve to listen to some of In Between while we talk shit together today. Well, really, I'm just going to be talking shit to you because, I don't know, it's been a minute since we've hung out. And I have a lot of things going on. First and foremost, actually, I would like to talk about Saturday. This Saturday in Los Angeles, I'm having a pop-up with some fans. We're going to hang out. I'm going to sing some songs from the project acoustically. Maybe like an old one as well, like a throwback to acoustically. And I'm just going to do that. So there's tickets available if you want to come to that. It's going to be drinks and food and vibes, and it's going to be amazing. So that's a good starter point here because it is Pride Month, everybody. It's Pride. I haven't officially said something about it because it's Pride every day in my life because I'm very much on the homo spectrum. Damn, I'm really not alone in my living room right now. I have to remember that. But, yeah, I've just been seeing a lot of fuckery going on, and I kind of wanted to talk about it because I feel like I used to talk a lot about political teens, and I don't really get into it as much anymore because I realize everything is a fucking scam, and it's not worth being so, I mean, obviously it is worth, which is why I wanted to talk to everybody. I felt much more passionate yesterday, but you know what, I'm gonna pull from it because I honestly yesterday I felt like I was like, God is giving me a word that I need to share, so I just want to share it because sometimes, I don't know if that ever happens to any of y'all watching, but sometimes God put something on my spirit and I'm like, you know what, maybe I should share this information. And a lot of the times I hold myself back because I'm like, bitch, nobody cares about what you have to say about these things. And then I realized yeah, but no one cares about what anybody has to say about things. So I could either say what I gotta say, because I say it sometimes in such a way where I feel like people understand. And then whoever doesn't get it, doesn't get it. And that's okay too, you know? I'm realizing that there's a lot of beauty in the imperfection of expressing yourself because it's I feel like nowadays, especially kind of as an artist, it's a little difficult. I'm trying to figure out this TV and it's not working, so I'm over it. I'm gonna talk to you. Let me see if I can. Sorry, I just interrupted my thought flow because I'm trying to see if this contraption allows me to. I'm hands-free, bitch. Yes, okay, beautiful. Okay, back to what I was saying. So I just feel like there's a lot of fuckery going on right now, and I would just like to talk about it. I would like to spew my thoughts about how dangerous of a time we're living in when rainbow capitalism is failing us even. Think about that, right? Um, it's such a potent time right now in American history. And that's not to say there haven't been a lot of spicy moments in our history, but I feel like right now we are currently witnessing like some active fascism, and we've been experiencing it for a while, obviously, because this is a country built on genocide, please. But if we're honestly like in our faces, like in my reality as like growing up and being in a bubble and getting it popped and having to understand the world around me, like I feel like 2020 rocked a lot of us. I don't know if I'm alone in that. I was 23, and at the time I thought I was like, you know, this like I was very into my activism and very much which I obviously activism is much more in action than it is in words, you know what I'm saying? But also when you have a platform speaking about things I think is really serious and important. And yes, I was gonna like play with y'all first and like listen to music and stuff, but I don't know, this is very much on my spirit and very much on my heart, so I just kind of wanted to speak to some things. I feel like the rhetoric that we're seeing right now, that we've been seeing, and that's been being normalized to us in the media and on these socials, and give me a second. I wanna actually say what I want to say, because I think this is a really heavy topic, and I know like maybe some people are watching, maybe some people aren't, maybe some people don't give a fuck about what I have to say about this. But I really feel like it's important for us to be mindful of history, and it's important for us to be mindful of even when hopelessness creeps into our spirits, and when the rhetoric becomes violent, physically violent, as well as emotionally and psychologically, which has been always, you know, but when it really comes to a point where nothing is really being done and people really just feel free to say whatever they want. And while I appreciate somebody who reflects who they are truthfully, I prefer somebody who is a demon to my face than behind my back, personally. I feel like we're all really comfortable with watching what's going on with conservatives right now. And I used to be really on the tip of like politics mattered, you know, like I really, really was super hardcore, like we have to make our voice heard, and I still feel that way, because I feel like it's more conflict resolution now than it is anything else. Because while I don't, in 2020 I became very aware of things, you know, like all of the like blinders that I had on about just the trust, I guess, that I had in systems that obviously weren't conducive to. I had trust in reform. I had trust in being able to move out of this. I had trust in like if we vote things in that we trust, then we can. But I didn't realize how many people had lost faith, because it's exhausting. I feel like emotionally we're exhausted, and financially we're exhausted, and there is a very real reality, and not for talking points, but that Trump is going to be reelected. Like, that's a reality that we're facing. And not in the sense of it might happen, because we all thought it wouldn't happen in 2016, right? But it did happen. And I feel like to some degree, the level of comfortability that a lot of people got with being their true bigoted selves has become violent. And what I find interesting is that they're always like, ooh, the radical left and the violence of Antifa and all of these things, which, by the way, Antifa is anti-fascism. Granted, I know there's all kinds of things attached to it at this point, but if we're being honest about what we really want to see, these elections that are coming up are, again, like I said, conflict resolution, because we're in the now. While I believe that there is a reality that we can create beyond what we are in right now, I don't believe that reality is going to come to fruition if we all give up on a potential, on hope, on a reality where where people don't have to fight so hard to prove that they deserve to exist safely. I did not expect to cry. I'm sorry. I see some of the things these politicians talk about and debate about. And I know politics are just one aspect of how we can create change. But they're a very strong driving force of the law. And the law, unfortunately, no matter how much it doesn't make sense sometimes, and no matter how unfair it has been to people, because you can literally just turn on Netflix and watch whatever true crime thing pops up next. Most things are about murder, serial killers, rapists, people who harm women, torture. Like, there's so much content out there for you to see of that. But I don't believe that that's all we're capable of. And I also don't believe that that's all we have to offer one another. And I really feel like there's a part of me that wants to give up all the weight on that and just create new realities, because that's really what I see. I see us creating new ways to do business with each other that doesn't exploit each other. I see us doing things to educate each other, because they're shutting down public schooling systems, bro. They're trying to tell us that we can't teach about race relations and the reality of the history of this country. They are moving in such a way where there's an active genocide against trans folks, like real life. And like, even if you don't understand, there has to be maybe there doesn't have to be, but in my opinion, there should be just a level of respect for somebody else choosing to live and show up for their family and their people the way that they choose, and to present and be as they are. And it might not make sense to you, and that's okay if you don't want to be a part of things, but it's so important for you to understand that just because someone doesn't think or believe the way that you do or in what you do, it does not give you the right to murder them, to harm them, to scare them into non-existence, to abuse them, to torture them, to psychologically manipulate them, to legally bind them, to legally strip them of their rights. We are all watching this in real time. In the way that the Supreme Court is handling a lot of stuff. There's a swiftness to the wave of fascism that we are experiencing. And a lot of the time we get called dramatic when we speak to these things, or hysterical, because we're speaking to very truthful realities of what is happening, you know? It is hysterically fucked up to have to witness what's going on right now. It is hysterical to have to watch the ways that people feel comfortable demeaning and stripping people of their rights in this country. And I feel like it's really interesting to watch the hypocrisy of the rhetoric, because they're screaming like, and I'm talking specifically to queerness right now, like it is completely under attack, and it's Pride Month and no one's really saying shit about it. And we all want to look cute and celebrate and glitter and get fucked up, and I'm with that. Like, I love to dance and I love to be alive. But there's also some very real-time genocidal speak going on right now. And there are real-life people suffering real-life consequences of that rhetoric being unchecked by the media and by us as a collective. Because we are the collective. We're the ones who are watching things. We're the ones making things go viral. We're the ones who participate in the consciousness that we create around ourselves. And I just feel very strongly that we need to organize as effectively as these folks seem to be able to organize, because they are very organized and militant in the way that they attack queerness in any kind of capacity. Most of these companies that have divested from supporting queer folks, queerness. And I'm not saying that like rainbow capitalism is the answer either, to be honest. Like, it's very performative a lot of the time. But to me, it's really interesting how silent we're all being, you know, as we watch things unravel in front of us and we have to choose between lesser evils. I don't believe that we have that option this time around. I don't believe that we have another 4 years of just dealing with whatever happens. And I understand that the presidency also is literally like that much of what's allowed to happen. But it also is an effective social tool, if nothing else, to represent where we're at as a collective, like I said. Because not everyone participates in politics. But if you choose to not participate, you have to deal with the consequences of being reflected by those who did participate. And those who do participate are on the conservative end of things. Those who want to preserve tradition, those who want to traditional values of, you know, white supremacy and capitalism that just are completely destructive to anywhere that we could possibly head as a collective. And I mean, I'm talking about America because I live in America. I'm from America. My parents, obviously, like, I mean, I say this all the time. Like, I come from an immigrant family, but I'm here. You know what I mean? And we're here. And I think it would be so shameful if we all allowed what the possibility of this place could be to slip through our fingers and into the hands of people who use fear and mongering and weapons and hatred as the foundation of their rhetoric and ideology. And then they slap the Bible on it. Like, that's at all representative of what the truth that God has to offer us is. Because I think that that's like a huge thing that we're all seeing, or we're not seeing anyway, is the spiritual warfare element of what we're all experiencing. Because a lot of us are experiencing what happens when you indoctrinate a whole population with individualism. And nobody really gives a fuck about what's happening to the person next to them, as long as they can level up and get to a position where they're in the position of power, where they're wealthy, where they've manipulated a system in order to be prosperous in what exists. And I don't knock anybody doing that, because that's literally how the fuck else are you supposed to survive in this shit? You know what I mean? There's like, a lot of people feel like, okay, how do I secure my spot in what is, you know? And I respect that to a degree. I also feel like what I find most effective about what the conservatives do, and I say effective, I don't condone, but I do find it effective that the way that they organize, the way that they're like, you know what, I don't fuck with this company, so I'm gonna make it my point to band with my other people who hate this and this thought, right? This reality. And I'm gonna like violently get behind it. Like, I'm gonna violently get behind the fact that like no gay people should be advertising beer, especially someone who's trans, right? Let's just throw that into the mix. And so violently that I'm gonna buy said product, which, by the way, they don't care what you did with it after you bought it. You bought it, so their sales are good. But either way, you want to, you know, participate in this trend. So you go and you buy massive amounts of this beer, and you steamroll it, you destroy it. Everybody gets behind. Everybody who thinks this way gets behind. All right, we're going to divest our money from this company. We're going to divest our dollars that we earn from these systems that are exploiting us. That's what they think, right? From these companies that are trying to push an agenda in my face, right? So I'm gonna just say though, look how effective they are. That's over beer, bitch. Over beer. Over what alcoholic beverage they're gonna consume to feed their alcoholism. Cause literally, right, but You know what I did notice? That a lot of companies were like, fuck, this was a massive explosion. And these people are actually really intense about what they're anti, you know? So we're going to listen to them because we don't feel like dealing with their bullshit. And that, my friends, is how protest works. But physical protests in the streets, getting mad at people and police with guns and shit, that, while extremely effective and necessary, because I will not ever detract the importance of a protest or demean or take away from. However, something I think we can add to the mix that would make shit real interesting is where we put our dollars and how we spend our money and how we collectively organize our money to make new systems happen. But because we have to play with what is right now, I think you should get into it. I think you should really get into it. And I really think it's important for you to let the people in your life know that you're going to be there to protect them no matter what happens. And yeah, as we watch I feel like I just watch mass shooting in school, defunding of school, mass shooting in school, defunding of school, women, no rights, women, you don't have autonomy over your body anymore. Sorry. Rollback of rights that people have fought and died for. Just because these people are upset that we exist, that they exist. How is that fair? How is that, like, how can you tout, and this is me very calmly speaking, like, how do you tout the notion of freedom and justice as being the beacon of these said principles? And then you're the first, and then you just start rolling away rights like we're not noticing, like we're not participating, like shit hasn't gotten mad fucking expensive for any and everybody and their mother. And like somehow flaunting that you're wealthy enough to do whatever the fuck you want, throw away money, is like what's gonna be praised. It's what people praise. It's what people like love to watch and see. It's like people being like, I've got it and you don't, fuck you. Sorry. Like, that's not really productive. You know? Do what you want. I'm just saying, I feel like as a collective we can do better. So that was something that I really wanted to say. There was a lot of things that I wanted to say yesterday and I don't feel as strongly about it anymore, to be honest. Sometimes I feel like the messages come and I should have just gone live yesterday when I was feeling it, like my spirit was talking. But yeah, I feel like now more than ever, like collectively, artists especially, guys, like if you're here and you're listening and you make art, like be intentional with it, man. Like be intentional, understand your role, understand your power, understand how many people want to be like you, understand how many people wanna connect. You know? There's so many people out here who are on some light shit. And I refuse to believe that the loudest fucking Twitter users, anonymous alcoholics in the middle of the country are the ones who are driving public thought, or the ones who are driving the way that we as a country are going to move, or we as adults are going to move. Because there's just so much gaslighting, there's so much obviously propaganda, but there's just so much rhetoric that is just so false. And so it's like the amount of effort being taken and being put into trying to demonize people who have nothing to do with you. Like nothing to do. Mind your own fucking business. And I bet you will be so much happier when you mind your business. And if we're going to be talking about grooming, because I know that that's a hot topic, a nice little buzzword that we got going on. We want to talk about how the LGBTQIA plus whatever community are groomers, right? So we want to talk about that, which I assume people will want to talk about child abuse, right? When that's brought up. They want to talk about child abuse, right? That's the point, right, that we're trying to make, is that we don't want children to be abused and to be forced into being something that they're not. And beyond being forced to being something that they're not, forced into doing things they don't want to do, not having autonomy over their voice or bodies, not knowing about consent, not allowing them to learn about consent because we don't have sex education. Like, I want us to be fucking for real with ourselves. They're banning books in Florida, bitch. Like, banning books. Did y'all read Fahrenheit 451? Did anybody read that by Ray Bradbury? Like, did anybody read that book where the firefighters were like repurposed to be the book extinguishers, and like they would literally go and burn books? Like, it would be an emergency if they found a book that was like a secular, that taught anything that wasn't what was the hive mentality thought. Don't be scared into not thinking for yourself. Don't be scared into not realizing what's going on and learning how you can be a better participant in what is happening around you, because we are active participators, even when we're passive. Even especially when we're passive, we are active participators in what's happening anyways. And it's not worth it. It's not worth having to watch. I mean, a lot of shit's already happened. Like, Roe v. Wade was fucking rolled back. That's not a joke. There are states right now that are making laws where women, in Florida, there is a 6-week abortion ban. Half of these women don't even find out they're pregnant until after 6 weeks. Plus, there's no exception for your rapist. Plus, there's no exception for incest. But you talking about you want to protect kids? You talking about you want to protect kids? I want you to be so for real with yourself. You say you're pro-life? Pro-life? But you're okay with the mama dying? I just want to know. And I also really want to know why. Even if that's how you feel, which I respect. If that's how you feel, if you don't feel comfortable with an abortion, if you don't feel comfortable, you feel like it's against God's will, you feel like whatever you feel, valid. Don't get an abortion. I love that for you. Even if it's killing you, don't do it. God's will. You know? But how the fuck does your belief have the right to strip me of my health care right to an abortion? Because a lot of the time everybody wants to be like, oh, she's a hussy and she opened her legs to everybody and she just got pregnant and she just doesn't want her anymore because she's irresponsible. First of all, we're not considering that a man can impregnate 365 women every single day of this year if he wanted to. He could even do 4 a day if he wanted to, and they could all be pregnant, and 400 and something kids could be running around this earth with no father figure. And all those women could be unsuspecting or know about it. But you wouldn't know. There's a Netflix documentary for that too if you want to watch that. You know what I mean? So like, don't tell me it doesn't happen. There's like, y'all make money off of it happening. Stop playing. So, that's a specific, the abortion topic, you know? But what I like to do when I think about things that exist, I am talking about America, by the way. And on the world to a degree, you know what I mean? Like, in most places, the patriarchy has a pretty strong, firm grip on, like, the population. So it's a lot of the same shit that we're all dealing with, which is just pure misogyny and the concept of people not being able to have their own individualistic thought and freedoms. And that's important. So I just want you to be aware, and I want you to be mindful when you're presented with all of the rhetoric about who should be president or who should be what or whatever, like who should be voted in places. I want you to do your research. I want you to participate. I want you to, because like I said, it's conflict resolution. It's the now. It is what is. It is what is around. And if we continue to divest from it, which I understand, but also we don't have time for that. Okay? It's moving too fast. It's moving too fast for us to not care. But either way, whatever happens with politically speaking, I want us to really talk to ourselves in our own lives, in our own communities, in our own families, in our own friend groups, in our own circles of humans. Like, talk to each other and, like, get into the nitty-gritty of why shit is the way it is around you guys. Like, we need to heal collective. We need to heal. We need to heal some shit. Like, there's some very weird... So, hold on. Someone just sent me such an interesting message. Someone says, "You are an unusual girl. I wish you every success and happiness, and that you never lack faith, because you have become an incredible woman. Congratulations." I am an unusual woman. I am an unusual woman. That is so funny to me. All right, I'm gonna get into some lighter topics because clearly I was on one yesterday and I was ready to go hard, but today I feel the same but different. You know what I mean? Oh, I also have to do laundry, but I can do that after. I'm so sorry. That was an intrusive thought and it just came out. Okay, so what else can we do? I'm gonna play you guys. Should I play y'all some music? Should we dance together? Now that I've done a sermon for no reason. It's not for no reason, damn it. This world is fucked. Shit is fucked. And we can't just all be like, oh man, it's so fucked. And I'll just like make the craziest meme about the craziest trauma. Like, who gets the most likes and who's gonna like guys, no, we need to let each other grow. We need to. We cannot afford for people to stay stagnant and low vibrational, bitch. Like, people need to level up. And they can't do that if we're like, yeah, but you suck. And you sucked so hard when you were 13. You know, like, we all sucked at one point in our lives when we didn't know better. And anyone saying that they didn't is lying. And if you had a camera on you at all times, bitch, I think you would be surprised. That was something, oh my God, okay, wait. Okay, let's get into it. The ultimatum. Queer edition. First of all, thank you for making a queer reality dating show, because obviously that was necessary at some point or another, and it was just as spicy as I thought it would be, really, truly, honestly. Wait, what was the connection point? I had a fucking connection point. I swear to God. What was it? What was my point? Oh, that these ladies went on the show having a very particular idea of who they were as people. And then they saw what played out back to themselves at the reunion. And I know, as someone who was on a reality TV show situation, I understand with my deepest, I could never. When I saw the premise of that show, I was like, bitch, I'm gonna watch, because what in the mess of a mess is this? Like, what the fuck premise? Who comes up with the premise of, okay, so I really want to marry this bitch, which, by the way, like, lesbians, like, I love us, but U-Haul is a real thing. So for real, it is what it is. But the fact that they took these girls are these women or these folks who literally were like, I want to marry this person. I'm coming on this show because I want to marry this person. And if this person doesn't say yes right now, it's over. And like 6 other people did that too. Same choice. And then they all came on to the same place to live with each other's spouses. Proposed spouses. To see if that would maybe change some shit up about how they felt. Like the mess that you are asking for. You were asking for it. Damn it. You put a bunch of gays in a room and you told them, listen, some of you want to get married, some of you don't. We're going to pair you up. See if you guys have chemistry. And then we're going to put it all on camera. Obviously, some bitches fell in love. However, this might be a controversial topic and I don't mean to be a bitch. Are we ready? I don't mean to be a bitch. I'm going to tell you how I felt about the characters. The characters. See, these aren't characters. This is my issue with this. It's like, I'm going to talk about them like I know these girls in advance. I don't know any of you folks, and you are all beautiful, brilliant, individually bomb people. Let me just preface with that, because I don't want anybody to be like, oh my God, in the back end. But what I will say from watching that show, my Latinas, I love us, but we need therapy. We as a collective unit of beings, we need some conflict resolution classes. We need some people-pleasing deprogrammings, and we need some clear communicating without passive aggression classes. And I get it. Mira, yo entiendo porque yo vengo de la misma cosa. Es lo que tú tienes que entender. I come from the same shit. So I understand you. Y tenemos tantas mujeres en nuestra línea que we're our first bullies in our own community. Like, we really are our first bullies and our biggest haters, bro. Like, and I felt like there was a lot of a lack of emotional intelligence in the way a lot of shit was handled on that show by some of these girls. And I will say, these women, excuse me, because they're not girls, they're grown. But I will say, it made for good content. It made for good content. It did. I'm not mad. You did your thing, babies. You worked it. But coño, I was a little bit like, Mildred. Oh. I honestly, some people were like, oh, I felt like you probably hate Tiff. I'm like, I really don't hate Tiff. You know what I think about Tiff? I'm talking about my Latinas right now. I feel like Tiff has a good heart, like really genuinely has a good heart. Also comes from a Latin household. So again, the communication thing is a very real thing. So I'm not gonna even knock that shit. The communication skills, not there. Anxious attachment, very much real. Codependency, people pleasing, I saw it everywhere. But Tiff particularly, I felt so bad because during the reunion, Mildred let her have it. Like, said so much shit that she didn't need to say. And if you've ever like been with somebody like that, like where someone, how can I say this? They don't know how to, oh my God. Someone who throws shit in your face, back in your face and back in your face, and also makes shit up. So you're confused. So you get gaslit. And like that whole process of getting gaslit in front of people on camera, giving you a panic attack, I understand. Like, cause I've had panic attacks in my own time, like not on camera because of being gaslit. So I understand. And it's also, that's what happened to Ozzy too. Ozzy's avoidant as fuck, don't get me wrong, because also in their relationship with Sam, hella avoidant. But I also respect how Sam and Ozzy are able to be like, Sam, I love Sam. I love Sam. Sam is so cute. She's so sweet. She's so pure. She's good people. I can feel it. I don't know these bitches, but but Sam feels really sweet. She's like very conflict resolution oriented, a really good communicator. And she was able to really understand like what was going on. And so the thing with Sam and Ozzy is that Sam understands that Ozzy's avoidant, and Ozzy understands that Sam is anxious attachment. So they work with each other to get to a point of healthy attachment. I don't really fuck with Ozzy that much, like as far as the way that they like show up in context, because they're hella avoidant, and I feel like Sam deserves better. But that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like they've known each other way longer than I know either one of those folks. So do you be happy? I love that. I also like the dynamic of how they give space to each other. They give each other space to be who they are. So like, you know, Sam was like, okay, Ozzy's avoidant, so I gotta make space for some time for them to figure things out before they come to me to speak. And that's valid. And same with, you know, with Sam, Ozzy has to be like, okay, well, I can't take as much time as I'm gonna take to process, because I'm actually being avoidant. I'm not just processing. I'm just scared of a conversation. I'm scared of conflict. I'm scared of being judged. I'm scared of being told that I'm wrong, being told that I'm bad. Because that binary, see, all of this stuff connects back to the systems. I'm telling you, because I'm ranting, but because that's what Ozzy grew up with in her household, was people telling her she couldn't be who she was, and like telling her what to do and who to be. You know what I'm saying? And when you have that happening all the time, it's hard for you to show up in relationships where people are trying to tell you about yourself and how you show up, because it just feels like a trigger, immediate trigger. You're just like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't feel like comfortable discussing my character flaws. You know what I mean? Especially not with someone who I love and who I really want to love me and see me in my best light. Because that's another thing that we don't understand, is that in that quest to be the best version of ourselves for a partner, we end up losing ourselves and not even being able to show up all the way, because we're trying to perform instead of trying to actually connect. Because connection requires communication. Connection requires being so raw dog honest with yourself and with your partner. And it's hard. It's not easy to do that. And also it's not received very well by a lot of people. As someone who's very honest, not a lot of people receive that well. Not a lot of people like to be spoken to like that. And I also had a crazy people pleaser complex, so I know it when I see it. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to another couple. Next couple that I loved. In the moment, I loved Lexi and Ray. I found out, I tweeted, I loved it while I was watching the reunion, so I was like halfway through. And by the way, please, if you are watching it still, like, don't listen to me, because I'm giving you mad spoilers. I don't give a fuck. But someone said this is not a rant, this is a life lesson. Okay, thank you for seeing the genius in what I do. Okay, so next couple. Oh, I never really gave my thoughts on Tiff and Mildred, though. So I feel like Mildred just be gaslighting people. I feel like Mildred has zero emotional intelligence. Well, maybe like 20%. And like conflict resolution skills. You know what I mean? Like, it's very much about how she feels and what she wants. And while that's valid, there's other people involved in a relationship, and you have to be aware of somebody's feelings, and you have to be aware of how you speak to somebody, and like the way you present an issue is vital, like in order to really communicate with somebody. Just because you're pissed doesn't mean you can make everybody feel how pissed you are. I used to think that's a big thing in our households growing up, I think, is like projection and the way that anger is released or transmitted or projected onto people around you, especially those that you love the most. That's kind of like that's a core value, I think, sometimes, is like, oh, this person is the closest to me, so they have to take my energy. They have to take how pissed I am and just deal with it, you know? And really, that's not the case. A lot of the times we've grown up in an environment where we feel like it's me versus you, and there is a problem, versus it's me and you versus this problem that's coming up. And in trying to be so combative and defensive, a lot of the time comes from a place of hurt. It comes from a place of wanting to be seen and loved, and I respect that, you know. But the way that it's communicated is just violent. It's just abusive, you know. Like, it's not, and not like on some like, oh, I think it's abusive. Like, I think it's emotionally abusive, and it's not like done with intention to be that. It's just a product of the way we're raised. Because that's also something that she said. She was like, to Ozzy at one point, she was like, oh, like, I'm Latina, like, this is how we talk. And I'm like, to an extent, yes. But as a Latina who, like, this is just how I talk. I lost some people in my life because I thought I could just whatever I was feeling on them, you know? And that's not always the case, you know? Sometimes you really have to step back, breathe, walk away from something, allow somebody to be in their own space. Give yourself the time to process something before you can communicate about something clearly. Because a lot of the time when the emotion is running through you, you say things you don't fucking mean, and you're mean, and you mean. We can be mean when we're in that triggered state, you know. And if you had any kind of childhood where you were silenced and you weren't able to really communicate your true feelings, then when you get into a romantic relationship as an adult and you never had those kind of tools given to you about how to self-regulate, you believe that it's your right to be heard and it's valid. She was also abandoned by her parents. Yeah, that's a huge thing. You get abandoned by your parents, you think there's something wrong with you. So the second that there's any inkling that, or change in energy even, like, and the thing with her and Tiff was that had been going on for years. So at that point, they're so far into their, like, abuse cycle that, like, that what happened at the reunion happens, where she's just regurgitating all of the bad things and making up some things too, like, just to, like, trash Tiff's character. Because, like, sometimes when you get to that point, before someone can make you look bad, you want to make somebody else look bad so that, like, you can deflect. Because she was at the end of her rant about all the shit that Tiff did, even though a lot of it Tiff really didn't do, she literally was like, you know, I also got arrested. I will apologize to accountability that I got arrested because I threw a goddamn dog gate at this bitch. And it was heavy. And it hurt her. I was like, bitch, what? Like, you threw some shit at this bitch and, like, you're trying to, like, sit here and say all of this stuff about how fucked up this girl is. Like, you need to leave her alone. So anyways, I'm glad Tiff left. I honestly respect the fuck out of Tiff leaving that situation, and I hope that her and Mildred do not get back together and that Tiff grows from this experience and understands that she deserves something more solid than that. And I think Tiff was in love with Mildred the whole time, and that's why she didn't really try in her relationship with Sam. I feel like Sam taught Tiff a lot though, and Sam was such a nurturing being, especially during that time. Someone said speak slowly. Man, I'm sorry. I get excited about things and I speak. This is how I speak. I'm sorry. Anyways, I really appreciated Sam going out after Tiff and, like, helping calm her down from her nervous breakdown. That was really sweet. And I feel bad. Next case. Caso cerrado. Mal and Yoli. I'm going to talk about Mal and Yoli and Xander and Vanessa at the same time, actually, because I think it's a kind of interesting parallel. This is so fun for me. By the way, I know that I have the lowest count of people watching right now, but I don't give a fuck. I'm having a great time. I can be a content creator for this as fuck. Like, give me queer reality TV shows to watch, and I will literally break them down, bitch. I got you. So, Mal and Yoli. First of all, I love Mal. Mal is so pretty, first of all. But second of all, is such a dope human. Like, the way that they were able to communicate, the way that they held space for Lexi when they were going through what they went through with Ray, the way that they made space for how Yoli felt. Even though in the reunion, I found out that Yoli wasn't even all the way honest with Mal. See, I had nothing. Listen, my issue with Yoli, it really came up. No, I felt the type of way about that to begin with, because how the fuck are you giving me the ultimatum? You want me to marry you. You bring me to this reality TV show, put cameras in my face, and you're like, all right, I need to go to this reality TV show to see if you even really give a fuck enough to marry me, right? That's your choice. You're like, and then you get there. You get paired with another bitch. And then you fall in love. Like it's motherfucking 1965. And like you just are 52 maybe. Like that, like, I don't know. Like you felt like what? I understood that they had, their values were on the same page. They wanted things fast. They wanted a house. They wanted this, that, kids, the other. Mal always wanted that too. Mal literally never ever said that she wasn't down to get married or to build a life. Mal was just intuitive as fuck and was like, she literally said that she was like, I'm scared of how quickly Yoli runs into shit with people. Okay, and how she's able to just kind of like fall in love with whoever, and maybe I'm another one of those people in the line of people she's just kind of falling in love with. And I don't know. And I would love to marry this person, but I don't know yet. So I still want some time to figure that out. I'm not ready right now. But I think they were together for like 3 years. I think they were together for 3 years. Because I know Xander and Vanessa were together for 4. But her and Mal and Yoli were together, I think 3 years. I'm not positive, but they were together long enough, damn it. They were together long enough to where you know my family, you know my friends, you know all of we've been together for years. So you come on this reality TV show and you fall in love with another bitch in front of cameras. And then at the end you want me to marry you? Bitch. Because that was another thing with like Xander and Vanessa, right? So Vanessa and Ray, when they were together, they had a little sexual moment, but honestly, it was so innocent and it was so not like that. And then for Lexi was in love. I get it. Lexi was just like, bitch, what the fuck? How the fuck? Because Lexi gave Ray the ultimatum. But Xander gave Vanessa the ultimatum, right? And Xander wanted to get married, and Xander was paired with Yoli. So Xander and Yoli were doing the shit. I'm going to talk about Vanessa in a second, too. But Xander and Yoli were paired, fall in love. And here's the thing where I'm with Mal to 100%, right? This is another reason why I fuck with Mal. Because Mal was like, I'm not even mad that you fell in love with somebody. I actually think it's cute. Talk about motherfucking patience. Talk about fucking empathy. Talk about being a partner to the ends of the earth. Like, literally still proposed to Yoli regardless. And was like, I'm sorry, I'm like talking to y'all like I'm talking to my friends. Well, I am talking to my friends. You guys are my friends. You're my internet friends about this right now because this is important to me. And somebody needs to hear about it. So, where was I? Oh, so Mal literally still proposes to this girl, knowing that she is in love with Xander, because Yoli was honest about being in love with Xander, but Yoli wasn't honest about details. And this is where I had to withdraw my support card. Withdraw. Because I was like, Yoli, why would you lie to Mal? When Mal has this capacity to understand you that is so rare in a partner. You're gonna compromise that kind of connection, that kind of empathy, that kind of presence, that kind of love. It was steady, sure, like, listen, like, I might not be ready to get married, but I am ready to figure it out, and I am ready to hold space for you falling in love with someone else. And I am ready. It's just like, it's so performative of Yoli to be like, if you can't give me marriage, we're done. When like the person showing up like a married partner to me was Mal. Like, in terms of how they held space for the process and Yoli needing this process to figure out whatever they needed to figure out. Even though Yoli was the one who put up the fucking... Yoli was the one who made the ultimatum. Like, you wanted to marry Mal. Like, Mal was chilling. Like, I low-key even feel like the way that everything was communicated, they could have even explored polyamory and it would have been probably chill. To be honest, they probably still would have been primary partners, and like Xander and Yoli would have probably been like side pieces to each other, you know? Or excuse me, that's not how polyamory works. They're not side pieces. They're secondary partners, or whatever it is that they agreed to. Because it's all about agreements, people. Who feels comfortable and consensually can handle whatever is agreed upon between the parties involved is what it is. And the issue too was Xander gave Vanessa the ultimatum, and Vanessa, I think, I don't know, having been on a reality TV show, I felt like they played Vanessa because they needed a villain, and she was the one that they wanted to make the villain. Like, that's what is good. Am I the villain? Yeah, like, Vanessa, like, you're the villain. And she really wasn't that bad of a villain to me. Yoli was way more of a villain to me than Vanessa was. Because Vanessa didn't even fuck with Ray like that. And they knew that. Like, both Ray and Vanessa knew. Like, they were like, listen, if we're going to be here to do this, like, let's just have fun and, like, be friends and, like, have a good time. And literally that's what they did. Vanessa didn't do shit besides that. In the beginning, was she overly eager to, like, get to know new people? Yes, that was true. But she also communicated that was kind of how she was feeling. Like, she didn't really want to be with Xander, you know what I mean? So, or she did want to be with Xander, but she wasn't sure about lifetime, you know? Which is valid. Like, people are young and people are exploring and people don't know. They just don't know if they want a full lifetime of something yet. And the experience definitely jolted her and helped her grow a lot. So I think that that's valid, and I think we gotta acknowledge that shit when it happens. So I don't have no beef with Vanessa. And I actually feel like Vanessa and Xander communicated so much more respect for each other than, like, I felt like Vanessa had more respect for Xander than Yoli had for Mal in terms of the way that they moved. And Xander was a flip-flop as fuck. Xander just be falling in love with everybody and was just like, I really like Yoli. Like, totally gave up a 4-year relationship for Yoli, who said yes to Mal's proposal after having lied to Mal about the intimacy and the level of intimacy that she was engaging with Xander. So the mess. Messy. I think I got everybody, right? Did I miss anybody? Lexi and Ray. I didn't really miss them. They broke up, so I don't really have any opinions anymore. Because my opinion on them was that it was kind of cute that Ray kind of was able to grow as much as she was able to during that time, and then, you know, be able to give Lexi what Lexi wanted. But I feel like Lexi wants what Lexi wants, so I don't know. I think that's valid too. You know, I love a girl who knows what she wants. You know. I don't know. Someone said Mal and Lexi were meant to be together in another life. I don't know. I feel like they make good friends, but I don't know if they were meant to be romantically with each other. I didn't feel chemistry between them like that, to be honest. The chemistry between Yoli and Xander obviously was palpable. Like, that was valid. But it was obviously lust, too, because there was no foundation. You can't fall in love with somebody in 3 weeks. Like, you can admire somebody. You can think somebody's really amazing. You can get infatuated with somebody. You can... all kinds of things can happen, but... fall in love to leave somebody that you've been with for 4 years that you knew you wanted to marry before you even came on this thing? Nah. Stop playing. Stop playing with your own emotions. All these emotions, waves of emotions, go through the motions and drown in the ocean. Some of these girls probably could actually benefit from listening to my music. Fun fact. So, go ahead and do that. It probably feels so weird for them to have their life commented on like this, though, so I'm sorry, y'all, but I was intrigued. I had a good time watching that show. I hope that it happens again. I hope there's a season 2. I hope I get to meet more little queers who try to figure out love. Because I also think that there was a beautiful, like, respectful process to the reunion, besides Mildred dogging Tiff the fuck out. Like, I think, like, that was on some, like, okay, Real Housewives type reunion shit. But, no, but the other, I felt like it was really, like, a masterclass on queer connection and love for, like, women who love women. And I thought that was really cute. So thanks for that content. I think we could probably tweak out some stuff though. Like, I'm sure that they will though. This was the first season, so they'll tweak the way that they do some stuff for sure. That was an experiment. And I applaud those women for like choosing to do that, because that was some shit to have to put your business out there like that. That was a lot of business out there. But anyways, who's coming to see me Saturday? Anybody coming to see me Saturday? Is anybody? Also, if you like when I talk about shit, because I know I started this whole thing with like excuse me, political speech. If you like to hear me talk about stuff like that, I have a podcast. It's called Attunement, and it is currently living on my LimeWire profile. You just have to go do that and subscribe if you would like to access that. And yeah, I also have a project out. It's called In Between. So you should listen to that. Summer vibes, bitch. Summer vibes. How do we... I want to play some of the songs, but I don't know. I don't know why the YouTube isn't working. Hold on. Give me 1 moment, please. Yeah. Hold on. I'm not gonna undo that. I'll be right back. It's a gut box. Okay. Can you hear it? What? Every time the song comes on, I'm literally like, what? Seem to help it. Oh, I'm afraid me when controlling. I always like singing the harmony. feelings. All in my feelings. Yeah, I like my wallet. Man, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. Man, fuck that dude.
Get 50% off all Domino's.
No, Domino's. No. I don't want 50% off of your fucking pizza. That's a ridiculous amount of percentage to take off. Clearly. Although I do love their cinnamon sticks. I don't have them often, but when I do. Someone said, do you support Trump? Mijo, pero ¿a dónde tú estás? ¿A dónde tú estás? He's a middle-aged man, so I'm very confused, sir. How did you find me? Who pointed you in my direction? I'm not the one or the two. It's interesting because if you start this live from earlier, I think you might really not fuck with me. I'm so sorry. No, I don't support Trump. Actually, first of all, like, even beyond being like a whiny baby fascist, like, he's literally a moron. Like, is that politically? I don't know if that's politically incorrect to say, but he's not, like, he's an ignorant human being. Ooh, a Jeep commercial. I hate fucking ads, bro. I'm sorry. We're gonna listen to another one. I've been on live for so long. Wow, you guys, do you feel blessed? Because you should. Bitch, I understand that I have emotional lyrics, but if you're not playing this at your pool party, you're dumb. So I try to push it away. Why did God make me this way? Feels like I'm going insane. My No, estrella. Tampoco. Tampoco te quiero, estrella. Yo no tomo beer. Fuck. How do you say beer in Spanish? Cerveza. Coño. Obviously, I know this. I know this. I know that. My grandfather was such a beer drinker. He drank so much like Heineken and Beck. Those were his like go-tos. I'm thinking about my grandpa a lot. All right. Come on. Handle shit up on his own. You can't depend on your friends when you're in a tight squeeze. Everybody got problems of their own. Bro had a daughter, only left behind was pictures. Should I stay or should I go? I'm on this mission. System. I know there's gotta be a better way. What? These harmonies? Stop playing! Stop playing with me! Running with the wolves and I made it alright. So clock ticking, plotting, stop bitching. And I ain't about to stop wishing. I'ma just distance me from yours. Every time my gut talks, I try to just listen. I'm telling me, I knew you, bitch. I plan to build, and anybody trying to shake me, bitch, I'm standing still. I'm trying to reach the people as if I ain't about to tour soon. Yeah, I went from dorm rooms to courtrooms to boardrooms. Oh, we don't get a lot of time. Whoa. Best friend's coming up, what? Those harmonies, Jesus. Hey, bitch, stop playing with your girl. Ooh, you better start up next.
You give me
be cute, take it, I'm starting war. I can't do this right now. No thanks. You are just in way. You won't have to fight. Just fight it. My love is surrender to me. I promise you'll like it, but until you try it, baby. Said that I'm the one, yeah. So show me that you love me, yeah. Don't need you like that. That ain't the way you keep me, my love. You want me to be the one, yeah. You better pay attention, no more. You can keep your money, yeah. I'm doing just fine on my own. Since I'm the one, yeah. Come on, show me that you love me, yeah, yeah. I'ma need a little more than that. It's the business, so if you love me, yeah. Say that I'm the one, yeah. Come on, show me that you love me, yeah, yeah. I'ma need a little more than that. It's the business, so if you love me, yeah. Say that I'm the one, yeah. Show me that you love me, yeah. I need your money, nah. That ain't the way you keep my love, yeah, yeah. You better pay attention no more. You can keep your money. I'm doing just fine on my own. Period. Period. I'm gonna run that one back, actually. That's how I feel. It's like I want to play Trust Issues or Only Love, or Always Only Love, LOL, Always Love, but I don't feel like crying right now. Or do I? Or do we want to cry, everybody? Are we gonna cry? Let's cry. Fuck it, let's cry. Yeah. Now it's how my mama told me loving can be lonely. You little cancer ass. Not everyone's like you. You got the heart that you do. But I had to learn the hard way. Lessons can be costly. And I spent more than I had on love that didn't last. I'm sorry if you think I'm standoffish. I swear it's not true. I'm guarded and I know it, oh darling. Don't mean to be cruel. I've got trust issues, and I know we all do. But I think I'm too wounded to die, and that ain't fair. Tired of being used, and maybe that ain't you. But I can't take the chance when I'm damaged. I've got trust issues. Yeah, I've been trying to understand it. Seems I got a habit of pushing others away, thinking no one will stay. So I gotta leave today. I don't wanna make the same mistakes. Not with you. No, not with you. Sorry if you think I'm being selfish, can't help it, I'm done. Fighting, feeling helpless, so darling, I knew this would come. I knew it, damn it. I've got trust issues, and I know we all do. But I think I'm too wounded to die, and that ain't fair to you. I'm tired of being used, and maybe that ain't you. But I can't take the chance when I'm damaged. True. walls I put up, I'll fuck this up.
Yeah, you should just leave before I do.
You know what I mean? Like,
you have dinner with us.
Estela. You feel me? Do you feel me? Like, I'm sorry, but for me, growing up when I would listen to music, like, when I found lyrics that made me, why did I pick this up? I'm sorry. When I found lyrics that made me feel seen, I would cry. I would listen to the song 70 times over and over again, and I would cry to it. And all I can pray is that with at least one of my songs, you have cried while replaying it 70 times. Because you were like, this bitch, how does she know me? I hope that that's what it makes you feel, you know? Your face all over thing. My favorite changes every day, I swear to God.
I don't really wanna cry no more. So you better be sure when you try to step out that door right now. What the fuck am I crying for? Been here a few times, don't know what I'm fighting for anymore. When you put your hands on me, I don't wanna fight. You get me excited. I'm gonna be in a frequency. So let me inside.
Like what?
You don't have to hide it from me. You say that I'm the one, yeah. So show me that you love me, yeah. Don't need your ain't no lie. That ain't the way you keep me, my love. You want me to be the one, yeah. You better pay attention, no more. You think you're running, yeah. I'm doing just fine on my own.
Fun fact about that part. I played it on a MIDI. I played it on a little MIDI. And originally, like, the demo version has me playing that on the MIDI, but then we got a real trumpet player, obviously, to go in and do that shit because it sounded so much better than a MIDI. I love live instruments so fucking much. And you'll be hearing a lot more of that in my music as I continue to grow.
Why you gotta be insecure? You know better than me, you're the only one I adore. So slow it down. I can't really do this no more. Every time that I speak, you take it, I'm starting war. I can't do this right now. If you put your trust in me, you won't have to fight. Just let yourself fight. My love, if you surrender to me, I promise you'll like it. But until you try it, baby, you say that
Well, if you've made it to this point of the live, thank you so much for being here. I can't believe you're still here. I don't think you all understand how many accents I got in me. This is why I don't go live, because when I'm in normal life, I speak in an array of voices. And yeah, one day you'll see me on a screen doing movies or behind an animated character or multiple, because it would just be a waste of talent, you feel me, to not showcase my range as a human being. It would be tragic. I'm too young, I'm too thriving, I'm too beautiful, I'm too special. Alright, I'm done being a fool. I hope you enjoyed this live. It was a wide range of chaotic energy. Again, if you're still here, thanks for being a trooper and loving me as I am and as I come. I appreciate it. I love you. I hope you're streaming in between. I hope I see you on Saturday if you live in the Los Angeles area. One more time before I go, I'm gonna let you know that I'm doing like a pop-up. It's gonna be really fucking cute. The tickets are already up for sale. You get a whole bunch of shit. We're gonna see each other. We're gonna dance. We're gonna take selfies. I'm gonna sing for you some of these songs acoustically. Because I don't got no choreo for you yet. But I will soon. And when I do have choreo, I'm gonna make fucking TikTok videos so you can also know the choreo. How about that? How about that, bitch? I'm about to be on these fucking socials. Fuck you, hoes. I'm sorry. Never fuck the hoes. I mean, that's like a really complicated like thing I just said. Like, because I also don't believe that statement, but like I do in the like colloquial context. Does that make sense? Like I love the hoes, but you know, fuck these hoes. It's a thing. Anyways, I hope you understand me. Anyways, have a beautiful day. May all your dreams and wishes come true. May you be the best you could possibly be. And be fucking nice to people. Because, bitch, it doesn't cost money to be nice. And it's the only thing we have left in this bitch. Like, people are so fucking mean. You can be one of the nice bitches. It's okay. There's plenty of mean people letting their little opinions be known for likes and comments. Okay? Like, be a nice bitch. Okay? Have a beautiful rest of your day. What day is today? Is today Thursday? I think it's Thursday. I'm also, I'm going on Station Head later. My LMJ updates, I believe. Or Lauren Hergy updates. Damn, I really should know because I've been DMing them. But anyways, they set it up and we're going to be going live. I'm going to retweet the link so that you can have that from me. But yeah, we're going to be on Station Head later listening to the same music I just played you. So hope to catch you there because we got to run these streams up, bitch. So people want to see me and so I can do interviews and perform for you. Okay? Love you. No, for real, I love you. Have a beautiful day.